Alright, in this video we get around to wrapping up a lot of loose ends we've been working on. Been working on the trunk floor, been working on the front floors and the transmission tunnel and firewall and all that. But anyways, take a look at how we get these items wrapped up. Alright, the ends of the top part of where the firewall welds on here were kind of mutilated from where they had body mounts. We cut them out a little more and bent a piece of metal. Getting ready to put it in. You can see we still got the gap over there, but getting ready to tack this one in right now. Alright, we ended up getting this side here pretty much welded in and ground most of the way down. Still got a little bit left. This side over here, we got it all welded on. Still need to grind all of it. Nothing's been ground down. Oh, and we put everything back in there and got the bolts tapped on that piece for the transmission tunnel at the back there for that full removable tunnel there. We were just over here milling the wheels down. We didn't have the right back spacing, and I called the company and they said we could machine 3/4 of an inch off the back side. So we got those done. We took about a week and a half off to build a fence, but we've been back on the car for a couple of days and the battery is dead on this, so I haven't updated. Made some brackets right there coming off the dash bar to hold the dash in place securely, so we got that done. Took the linkage off of that and patched a couple holes right there, as you can see. Finished welding in the front part of our floor braces right down there and cleaning that up a little bit. Got that done on both sides. Down there is where I finished welding. And then took the linkage and the screen off over here. Yesterday didn't do a whole lot. Kind of cleaned up some of the rust underneath the cowling area there. We'll treat it with some rust encapsulator or Pour 15 or something before we put some paint down. And then we're working on the floorboards, the toe boards specifically. We got these pieces here, which we've been calling the hockey sticks there, where the tunnel bolts onto them. We got these welded on today. Here's our accelerator pedal stuff and brake pedal hole. Got it all tack welded or plug welded up, and tomorrow we'll try and grind it down, and then we'll work on getting a couple pieces on the firewall, and this stuff here will be just about ready to weld in. We got both of those ready to grind down, so that's where we're at. Alright, today we got the floorboards finished up on the welding and grinding. Those have all been ground down from yesterday. So those are done. And then we got the little front piece welded on the firewall and ground down where the tunnel mates up to. So that's done. And then we pulled obviously the engine and mid plate back out. Punched a million holes up here in the top to weld the firewall in. Few on the sides because we're probably going to weld a lot of it from the front side, and then cleaned up underneath there. So maybe tomorrow we might start welding something in. If we get it, probably double check everything one more time before we weld it. Throw a little bit of primer down on a few things that'll probably never see the light of day again. So we got the firewall sitting in, clamped in, screwed in, whatever you want to say. Getting ready for welding. Went ahead and put all the toe boards in and the tunnel, so everything should stay in place when we start welding. We ground away a little bit around the edges where the weld's going to be, and ground each hole on the firewall where the weld's going to be, so it'll go through this primer. We don't have to worry about this edge. We're not going to weld this edge. We're just going to plug weld it. We got a hole every inch along the top, and inside it's still normal like it has been. Everything's in place for the firewall to be welded down. After every tack weld, go over and keep the distortion down. Alright, we do the quick short burst of weld. You're doing it really quick, and then as soon as it's done, cool it off, and there's virtually no panel warping. Just cool it down that short little bit, you can put your hand right on it. Can't remember where I left off last, but the firewall is all welded in. Got all the tack welds off on the top. We got the tack welds off on the side. We still got to do the corners on both sides. We did get the tack welds all off in here, up there, in the corners, same way over there. Still got just a little bit of touch up to do right up there. Right now we're working on putting this lower column support in. As you can see, we just now got it tacked. I'm getting ready to pull the column out, and then we'll do the final welding of that column support. It's been a long process getting the firewall and the floors in, kind of boring, but we're just about there on the floor and the firewall. Just a little bit of grinding and it's done, and then get this in and it'll be done. Then we can move on to the rest of the floorboards, although we'll probably go ahead and weld the trunk floor in next. It's pretty much ready to go in, so imagine that's what we'll do next. We finally got this here all ground down on this side. So we pretty much got all the front ground down. Still have a little bit of fine tuning when we do final body work and prep, but for the most part it's done. Inside's ground down, outside's ground down, so we can start moving on to the trunk area. Get that finished up next, and hopefully this thing will start flying a little faster. We're back in the trunk area again, trying to get things buttoned up underneath where the trunk panel will go in. Ground off all the tack welds all along there for that little support. Finished welding that area there. Finished welding in this area here. It'll still need to be ground down. Back there. And back up in there. Got that finished, obviously. Still need to grind that. Thin metal kept wanting to blow out up there at the top, so the next step, do probably a little bit more grinding and make sure everything's good to go, and then we can drop the trans pan in, or the trunk pan in. This will hopefully be the final picture before the trunk floor is permanently installed. Got everything cleaned up. Got all of our plug weld holes punched, primed in between the metal. Got this piece here nailed down. Got our fuel tank aluminum mounting pieces put on, so everything will sit like it would if it was in the car. And then here is the trunk floor. Primed all the areas where we'll be welding. Did a few experiments. Looks like we can get some decent plug welds on it. So this is the bottom side. We just finished up all the tack welds, hold the trunk floor in. So now the trunk floor is all welded in. Now we got to grind down all the tack welds. So that's going to be great fun. We got one slight problem right here. A little bit of an oil can. Let's see if we can't get that worked out though. I worked on grinding all the tack welds down today. Got all the tack welds ground down. Still got a little bit of fine tuning to do. Over here where these marks are, that's where we worked on getting the metal shrunk. We got it shrunk down so now it doesn't pop anymore. We heated it up real good, about a $half size area. Put a backer with a hammer and dolly and hammered it a little bit and then immediately quenched it. Hammered a little more and quenched it. Finished it off, and that took the oil canning out of the metal there. So you got all these ground down too. And the outside is all ground down. So we're ready to move on to something else. Not sure what we're going to do, but we got plenty. Alright, well that's going to do it for this update. I appreciate you guys following along with this, those of you that have. Please continue to do so. I know I'm horrible about posting up videos, but there's a lot going on. And we're getting a lot of work done on this car. It's coming along pretty good. I'm happy with the progress. It's not a quick deal, but it's coming along nicely. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe.